Okay, welcome to another Trusted Teachers Tips. This one is going to be around online learning. I'll just put that in the middle here. I'm joined as always by Mr. B.
Mr. B is still a bit choked up, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, interesting. That might just be one of the side effects working from home. I've been a bit sniffly myself, and I'm sure it's just a wee bit of dust. Okay, online learning, Mr. B. We want to come up with a couple of tips to make it as effective as possible, our online learning sessions. So could you maybe start us off with one of your tips?
Yeah, definitely. My main thing, I think, is particularly early in the year when the online lessons weren't working, I think having that personalization. So I would put on things like a inspirational quote of the day. I'd pre-record a wee introduction video that I could share with the pupils just to make them know you're thinking about them and keeping in touch.
I like that. I think it's important when the pupils, are kind of isolated at home, that they realise that we're still there, albeit in a digital format, and we're still there to support their learning. So yes, I like that very much indeed. I'll maybe do one. I think a tool that can be quite effective is maybe pre-recording some videos. Can't type and talk at the same time. Pre-recording, actually having a video, maybe just a short input at the beginning of a lesson, that a video that you just have to to make life easy for ourselves. You can record it at any time, and it's just maybe a 5-minute introduction to a lesson that you can just play and have the tasks then built in, a couple of tasks for the pupils to go off and do. Obviously, being online is important. You're still there live for them, but the video itself can be recorded any time, and that can just make our lives a wee bit easier, I feel. Mr. B, is there any other tips?
Yeah, I think another thing that's really important is just to be realistic. Usually you've got about a 40-minute time slot with your pupils, so just being realistic in terms of the time that tasks will take, but also bearing in mind that it's not a level playing field and that not all pupils will have a laptop at home. So just making things as achievable and realistic for pupils as you can.
Yes, I think the online sessions we've learned from previous experience. It's different from being in the classroom with pupils directly in front of you, and I think yes, there's maybe less that you can get through given the time slot, and I think it'd be very easy for pupils to get worried and to get stressed and to get anxious if they don't feel as though they're getting through the work. There's too much there. And I think, realistic expectations and managing the pupils' expectations of themselves, I think is really important. I'm going to put another one in here myself. I'm going to put in ground rules. I think it's important when we start our online learning sessions that we have clear ground rules in terms of all the microphones being muted initially, one person talking at a time, just maybe sharing a slide or two with the pupils just to let them know what the basic ground rules are for the online learning sessions and the format that they might take, and being really clear and upfront with that at the beginning, I think would be most helpful. Anything else, Mr. B, that we'd like to add in here as a top tip?
One of my favourite things in life, I think structure is really important. It's such a unnormal time for the pupils. I think having a lesson structure, like I would post a wee hello there to do the register. I'd post an introduction video. I would give the pupils like 3 tasks to do at their own pace, and then having a wee summary video at the end. So I think keeping a structure that the pupils can get to know and feel comfortable with is really important in online learning.
Yes, I think that familiarity when they come on to our online lessons, they'll very quickly know what to expect. Input from us, a couple of tasks for them to engage with. We are there online for them to answer any questions. Just coming up with that routine, I think, is really important at a time when it is education is anything but normal. I'm just going to put in here, it's one more for us. I think it's important, the tool that we use during online learning. I'm just trying to think how to phrase that. Which system to use? The reason why I flagged that up there is different schools will use different systems. I think it's really important to use one that the pupils are as familiar with as possible. Obviously, we've got lots of options. Different schools will have different options. There's Zoom, there's Google Classroom, Google Meet, there's Microsoft Teams. I think it's really important that whatever system you use is one that's the most accessible for the pupils. The shortest learning curve is really kind of straightforward for them to engage with. So I think that's a really good thing to get clear at the beginning. Anything else, Mr. B, that you'd like to share with us?
It's a really simple one, but I think just continuing to be enthusiastic and giving that impetus and just reminding the pupils that we might not be in school, but what you're learning is still valid, not just for life, but for your courses as well. So keeping positive, enthusiastic, and just kind of pretending we're just teaching a lesson like we would, because we will be, and that's what we're planning on doing.
Yeah, like that, just maintaining that positive attitude is something that's really difficult to do at this time, national lockdowns and online learning. But if again, it's modelling that good behaviour, it's modelling that kind of expectations for your pupils, being really positive, being really upbeat about it. I think that's really, really good. Another thing I'm just going to put in here is a wee bit of a technical one, but keeping an eye on your email, or perhaps the tool. Yeah. Keeping an eye, yes, sorry, yes, keeping an eye, yes, quite right. Keeping an eye on your email, or depending on what system you're using, you may have a chat facility built into it. It's really important that if the pupils are asking questions, or looking for feedback, or looking for support, that you're on it as quickly as possible. So I know myself, some of these online learning sessions where I've been online and the pupils have been carrying out a task and I've maybe been working on something else or thinking about something else, and I've suddenly noticed that there's 2 or 3 questions come through and I hadn't picked up on them initially. So I think trying to give the pupils the feedback that you would normally do in class and in real time is really important. Okay, that's online learning. Is there anything else, Mr. B, you'd like to add there?
No, we like our structure. We've got our 8 points there, so I think that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with that. Online learning is not easy, but I think we can really make it as easy as possible for us and the pupils by following a couple of these top tips. So that was Trusted Teachers being the support that we need, and our Trusted Teacher Tips online learning.